Pterodactyl here, and I'm going to give you an appetizer update on the Mott mower. Now at the end of part 2, the total restoration, the bearings were noisy. And I wanted to get some new bearings. And I thought it was going to be just simple, take the bearing off and order up new bearings. But it wasn't that simple, of course. Even though the bearing has a number on it. And I called multiple bearing places. Multiple. More than one. And had them search for this bearing. This company, Sealmaster, is still in business. They have no bearing. It's obsolete. They don't make it anymore. And nobody makes a replacement bearing that'll fit this. So if you got one of these Mott mowers and you're like, Taryl, I got one of those Mott mowers and I was going to restore it like you and I ran into the same problem. There's no bearings and I need bearings, and how am I going to restore it without bearings? It won't cut. So this is what you got to do, which is what I had to do. These bearings are similar to the ones that are in a pillow block, if you know what a pillow block is. This is a pillow block, and these bearings are replaceable. All you do is tap it so it's sideways and then it comes out. And they make replacement bearings different places. Now this is Surplus Center. And the one highlighted is the bearings that I got, because ours are a 5/8 bore, and I got the one with that collar on it instead of this one with the collar with the set screw, and I'm going to talk about that and why I had to go with these. So these are replacement bearings for these pillow blocks. And the highlighted number is the one that I bought. So you can Google search that number on the inner screen if you need to find these bearings. So I said I bought the ones with the collar. See, these are the ones with the collar. This is an eccentric locking collar. So when you put this on a shaft, you can turn this and it'll tighten. So you can lock the bearing to the shaft and then set the set screw. The one on here has just got an extended collar with just a set screw. And the reason I had to go with this type of bearing is because I had to have this machined down. I had to have this machined off of here to make it this width. Because I cannot have that collar on this shaft. Because look, the bearing's got to go on here, and that nut holds it on, and on the other end, the pulley's on there. So you can't have a collar, not enough space. Your only other alternative would be, again, to take it to a machine shop and have them machine the shaft down to allow for that collar. You would have to do that on both sides. Or, like I did, I just took it to my friend Farmer Dan and he machined them down to the width. To the exact width. Now, the reason I went with this type over this type is because Dan said the bearing is very hard. And when you take that set screw out, and as I'm machining it down, if the bit hits that hole, it's going to break the bit, and the bit is expensive. So it was better to go with this one. Now another alternative also would be to have them ground. If you knew somebody that had a surface grinder where they could just grind it down. But I took it to Dan and he said he can machine it. And he machined it down. So these are the bearings. They got to fit in these special holders. That's why they got to be slightly rounded on the edge. See, like this bearing is square and has a collar. You know, it's not going to work right because this is cupped and that's what holds it. So that's what you need to do if you need 2 new bearings. Those are your options. Have the bearings machined or machine the shaft to allow for the width of the collar. Alright, let's fire it up, fire it up, fire it up, and see how quiet it's going to be now. Quieter. Them bearings were shot. They had to have been the original bearings that are almost 60 years old or older. Well, that's what I had to do to make bearings for this here Mott mower, this antique mower. There's always, if there's a will, there's a way to get things done. So, subscribe to this YouTube channel, Taryl Fixes All. Follow me with your Mott mowers on Facebook and Instagram. Go to our web store. Buy some Taryl Apparel and some other stuff. We got all kinds of stuff. Check it out. And as always, this was an appetizer, so I hope I didn't spoil your dinner. Woo!